good afternoon. I am sorry, I cannot turn off my video due to some internet problem here. So luckily you can all hear my voice. Okay, first of all, I would like to welcome everyone to our second qualitative webinar session. Okay, today's session, we are going to hear from Dr. Ani Munira. Okay, our session entitled ABCs of Qualitative Analysis using ATLAS.ti. Okay, before that, I am Zahayu, your moderator for today. Okay, before we invite Dr. Ani to give her talk and share with us her experience and knowledge, I would like to give some background of her. Okay, Dr. Ani is an associate professor at the School of Law and also a research fellow at Center for Testing, Measurement and Appraisal, University Utara Malaysia, Sintuk Kedah. Currently, she is the Deputy Director at Innovation and Commercialization Center of UUM. Dr. Ani holds a PhD in Law from University Technology Mara, Shah Alam, Selangor. Earlier, she graduated with Bachelor of Law, Master of Comparative Laws, and Postgraduate Diploma in Sharia Law and Practice from the International Islamic University, Malaysia. Apart from that, her passion in Islamic finance and education further led her to obtain Chartered Professional in Islamic Finance from INSIF and PG Diploma in Higher Education Learning and Teaching from University Utara Malaysia. Prior to joining the academic, she practiced law at a prominent legal firm in Kuala Lumpur. Her research areas are information technology law, cyber law, evidence and procedural laws, and research methodologies. She has taught several institutions and organizations on qualitative research and analysis using the computer-aided qualitative analysis software at ATLAS.ti. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Ani to share her knowledge and experiences regarding ABCs of qualitative analysis using ATLAS.ti. The floor is yours, Dr. Ani.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zahayu, for the introduction, and Alhamdulillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon, everyone. I can see there are 37 participants in this meeting room today. Can you please help me by typing in the chat box so that I will know that you are hearing me clearly? If you can hear me clearly, can you please type in the chat box yes or clear so that I will know that I am not alone? Can you please help me? Okay, all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for that feedback. So that now I know that I'm not communicating with Dr. Zahayu only. Okay, I have a total of 38 other people, 37 other people in this meeting room that are communicating with me. As has been mentioned earlier on, this is the second qualitative webinar series for CeTMA for this year, 2023. In the past, we have conducted a lot of sessions in the past years as well for CeTMA. And thank you for your continuous support. Today, the topic that has been assigned to me is ABCs of Qualitative Analysis using ATLAS. I'm now going to share my screen. Okay. Okay. All right. I hope you can see my screen also. This session is hosted by Center for Testing, Measurement and Appraisal, and I am delighted to be sharing my thoughts on ABCs of Qualitative Analysis using ATLAS. Normally, this session is taught in 1 or 2 days session, but today we are cramping all those things in about less than 30 minutes. Okay, I am serving School of Law as has been introduced. I'm a research fellow at CeTMA, and also I'm a researcher at the new research unit at School of Law, which is Climate Change Law Research Unit. And I am also teaching at ATLAS.ti as a certified trainer. You can see my email address there, dranimunira@gmail.com. There's a reason why I highlight my email address, dranimunira@gmail.com, because towards the end of the session, there will be something that I am sharing with you, and I hope to get some communication from you. Okay, hopefully we can end the session by 2 o'clock. Okay, I will try to end much earlier so that it will give you some time to ask some questions. Okay, first of all, okay, the first question. I am asking question instead of you asking question. Now, anybody can tell me what you understand by the word qualitative analysis? You can help me by typing in the chat box so that I will know that we are on the same page. Okay. What do you understand by the term qualitative analysis? Maybe I'm going to give you around 10 seconds start counting. Okay. Qualitative analysis. Help me by typing in the chat box, everyone. Where's the button for the chat box? Okay. All right. Can anybody help me? Because the next slide I'm going to share with you about quantitative analysis. But before we go to that, I want to know if everybody is on the same page as me. Okay, anyone? This question is okay. Good. Thank you, Muna Najia, for sharing her thoughts. More subjective than quantitative. Okay. Anybody else? Of course, because qualitative is uh, the other side. Okay, it's not the same as quantitative. Okay, that's good. More in-depth understanding of the data. I like this answer. I like both answers actually. Thank you, Vincent. Anybody else would like to participate? Okay. You can keep the answers coming as I am moving on to my next slide. Okay. Qualitative analysis, subjective judgment based on non-quantitative data, uncovering understudied areas or issues, all are leading towards the same point, okay, leading towards the correct point. It is the process of finding an explanation and meaning, which involves a lot of process, okay, among others, data sorting and organization, data reduction to summarize the data, and the word coding is a magical word that I'm going to focus quite a lot, okay, today. Making sense of the data. Some literature also highlighted that it is the process of making sense of the data to discover or construct our ideas using different methods, okay, to sort, to reflect, to create memos, okay, and creating an argument for our idea, okay. So that argument must be supported and substantiated from your data. Whatever findings that we get, whatever results that we get, okay, the arguments that we want to make, they must always be grounded on that data that we get. From the data, you evolve that data into findings. So that's why the main keywords, what we want to focus on here would be the data, okay? You want to transform that data, the red arrow over here, until it becomes the findings. But what do we get to do in between? Okay, in between the data and the findings. The data would be the raw data, your interview transcript, your observation notes, your references, archival records, for example. And in the end, you want to transform that into the format of the findings, in the format of research report, journal articles, findings chapter, for example. Okay. So let's take a look at the metaphors of qualitative analysis. Here from the left-hand side, okay, from the left-hand side, you will see it's the process of building the blocks for the findings. As you can see here, I have put here the image of a person climbing through the data. It's not drowning in the data, but it's climbing through the voluminous data. Okay, lots of data here, and we are climbing, we are going through the data. So it is actually your transcriptions, it's actually your compilation of the videos that you have captured. It's a compilation of audio of your interviews, for example, or articles that you have downloaded, or any other qualitative data. You want to give a meaningful meaning to the units. Okay, if you break down the data into smaller chunks and you give a specific label to them, it's what we call as the first level coding. And then we go into the process of finding any similarities or differences between those small pieces or chunks of data, so that they will go through the second, the third, the fourth, and the next so on levels of coding. We call it as categorization or abstracting of our data. We find that these small blocks, okay, they actually have some similarities, okay, which later on when you combine the blocks together, we build the blocks, you will find, oh, it is actually part of a building, part of a block. Yes, so part of your findings. In the beginning, you might find, oh, okay, these are something that is very, how shall I say, voluminous. Yeah? In the end, you can find there are some themes that you can grab through the data so that it can come something to turn out into something like the findings over here. Okay. Now you can find there are explicit points, something that you can take a look one time and then you already get to know the answer. Sometimes it is implicit. You have to read in between the lines in order for you to get through what is the meaning of that particular point. Okay. Next, let me just, what drives our creation of the codes list? You remember when I highlighted the word codes just now? Coding is giving a label to that particular data section that you have highlighted. It could be section of an image. It could be section of a interview transcript, section of a video frame, for example. Okay, textual section. What drives our creation of the codes list? Yeah, what drives it? Here is an exercise. I'm going to give you maybe 1 minute so that you can help me to type in the chat box. What do you see in this picture? What do you see in this picture? 1 minute is too long. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Okay? What do you understand or what can you see in this picture? Maybe I'm going to keep quiet. You're thinking, right? Yeah? Yeti says criticism. Okay? What else? Nothing. Okay. Mockings, that's good. Okay. Many questions. Repetitive. Okay, that's good. Okay. What drives you to give such answers? Yeah, because the earlier question is what drives you to come up with the label? You create the word, you take a look at the person crying, so you label it as crying. Okay, take a look at the computer, you take a look, oh, this could be cyber something. Okay, this could be the person depressed. It's a mental health. That's good. Word choices and the person's expression. Okay, good. Negativity. These are all very good keywords that you have put into the chat box. Okay, so what drives you to say that if they are pieces, separate or different chunks of data, you give a label to them. After this, you will be combining the labels accordingly. But what actually drives you is actually the research questions and objective. Okay, if I had informed you upfront what are the research questions and objective of this image, then you would know how to answer it properly. Okay, your answers are all correct because I did not give the proper question. But if I give you the proper question like this, you would know what to write. Okay, I have bold and underlined the keywords here. For example, research question 1, what is cyberbullying? Number 2, what are the factors of cyberbullying? And number 3, what are the impacts of cyberbullying? Okay, okay, that's good. All your answers are correct. I am still looking at here. Muhammad Zaman Aslab, you're a critical thinker because you said coding process. This is the coding process, okay? Because we have the data in front of us, you break down the data into smaller chunks, guided by the questions and objectives. Now you know what could be the answer. So there are a lot of questions that we can take a look by this image only. What if we focus on research question number 2? What are the factors of cyberbullying? What makes a person want to bully or cyberbully another person? Okay, what makes a person wants to bully another person? Let me just give you some more differences between inductive and deductive over here. Okay, deductive and inductive. Deductive means we start off the analysis with a code book. We know already priori concepts in our mind. In ATLAS.ti, which I will demonstrate in a short while, we are also guided by deductive ideas, deductive themes. Okay, what are the things that we already know? Why would a person want to bully another person? Okay, like this one. For example, guided by your questions. What A? Because what is cyberbully? What A? What B? What C? Likewise, question 2, factor A, factor B, factor C, right? Okay, likewise, the implication, impact A, impact B, impact C. For example, we already have the priori ideas in our mind. So That codebook is modifiable as we go along. In contrast to deductive, we have inductive. On your left-hand side, there is no priori concepts, meaning I don't have any idea or I decline to put any objective ideas yet. I just take a look at the data. From the data, I build my list of codes. So understanding of the data as we go along, it is actually grounding up from the data, grounded on the data. Okay, so different. Deductive, you have a set of codes already. Inductive, we don't have the set of codes yet. So, but sometimes as we are reading through the data, as we are looking at the image, viewing the video, for example, we find something that we do not know where to put. Is it in the lumper? Okay? Put the relevant ideas or thoughts in a box first. You don't label it accordingly yet. For example, to come back to check, to double check, for example, we're not sure yet. Okay, so there can be deductive, inductive, or lumper. This is one other exercise I want to give to you before I move on to the ATLAS.ti interface. How do you feel? So the question is, we asked about the factors, right? I want to know this is an example question. Oops, sorry. And this is an example question what I want to share to our uh, interview participant. Okay, the question goes, how do you feel about cyberbullying? How do you feel about cyberbullying? Now, I want you to take some time to go through this statement. Okay, I always feel like I have a higher authority over everybody else. I enjoy treating such weaklings. They will simply do as I say. Now that is what I call power. Okay. Plus, nobody knows me over the internet. I can create fake accounts anytime I want. Okay. Now, by looking into this statement, a few sentences here is one statement. What do you think could be the labels that you want to give? Can you please help me to type in the chat box so that I will know? Okay. What do you think could be the possible codes that you want to give to any section? Maybe you read the first section, oh, you think it's the one. Okay, you read the second section, you think that's the one. Superiority, that's a very good answer by Lim. Anybody else? What do you think is the statement talking about? Okay. Other than superiority, that's good. What else? Sometimes we can just take the keywords from over here. Psychological thriller. Okay. All right. Anything else? Okay. Some people, some people would go to anonymity. That's good. Yeah, anonymity. That's good. Seeking validation is also a good answer. Okay, let's take a few more. Power. Okay. I'm going to focus on the word power here. Why the word power comes to our mind is because the wordings used by the participants is power. So that's why we use the word power. This is what we call as in vivo coding. In vivo is verbatim coding. You find what the person says and then we put a label name to it. You find what the person says and then sometimes we go over and above. Okay, like what your friend has mentioned. Superiority is not mentioned. The keyword superiority is not mentioned here, but it is something that is meaningful, okay, to the person. Nobody knows. That's good. How about empowerment? Empowerment is also good. Okay, now thank you so much, everyone. When we take a look at the statements, we find that these are the ideas. What about we try to change it into the interface of ATLAS.ti? There are multiple ways in us for us to do analysis. Today, I'm going to focus on ATLAS.ti. Okay, so in ATLAS.ti is one of the softwares for qualitative analysis. And the topic today is ABCs of Qualitative Analysis with ATLAS.ti. Like I said, normally this course is taught within one 1 day to 2 days. Okay, but today I'm going to focus on the very important takeaways that I want you to end the session, and then you want to have basic knowledge on how to do qualitative analysis with ATLAS.ti. We create a project. A is we create a project, analysis project, and then we add the documents for the purpose of document management. Okay, so likewise, this is how it goes. This is the interface of ATLAS.ti, as you can see. Okay, and then number 2, we are going to go through the project. That particular same statement, I have added it to the project here because I want to put in whatever that our friends has mentioned just now. Okay, for example, I'm going to put here starting with superiority. Okay, higher authority. What does this mean? This means superiority. Okay. What I am doing now is actually assigning the code labels to the statements that I find. Psychological treatment. Okay. Here, I'm going to put it there. Okay. Anonymity. Nobody knows me over the internet. That's good. Okay, good answers. Anonymity. Okay. All right. Seeking validation. Okay. Power. Let me just put it there. Power. Okay, I'm just going to stop there because I want to show you that you can actually give true, maybe one more anonymity. Nobody knows me. Okay, because I want to demonstrate to you how easy it is to go through our data and giving labels to it. Those labels, the ones that you have created just now, you created, not me. Okay? You gave meaning to the data that we have. We are grounding up from the data because we want to later on analyze this data because we want to show that these are the factors why people commit cyberbullying. So those are the ones that have appeared here. Anonymity, power, psychological treatment, seeking validation, superiority, and all. Okay, now next, I also want to focus on the next thing, which is concept search. I'm going to do this. Okay, concept search. Concept search is another powerful feature in ATLAS.ti as well. I'm going to go to the second document. Okay, just now is here is a document on cyberbullying also. Okay, factors. Okay, focusing on the factors of cyberbullying in Malaysia. Uh, I don't have time to go through all these documents, all these pages. Why not I get ATLAS.ti to break down the data into smaller chunks for me? Okay, this is a very powerful feature in my opinion, so that you can practice immediately in your papers. Okay, it can work likewise on also provide it is textual. It can be interview transcripts, it can be journal article, it can be reports in PDF format, in DOC formats, TXT format, for example. Here, I'm going to open that document. I'm going to go to one feature called concept search over here. Okay. And as I say, it's calculating for me the concepts. Okay. Just going to close this so that it will be bigger over here. For example, I'm going to talk about perpetrator. It builds a cloud for me, okay, so that I will know what are the sentences or what are the paragraphs talking about those keywords. Okay, I'm going to go to study. I'm going to go to child, cyberbullying, okay, victim, for example. Now, not only that, you can see on your right hand side, when I click on the word victim over here, it will bring out the words that contain the keywords. Okay, victim, victim. Yeah? That these are the keywords that mention. These are the statements that mention those keywords that I want just now. I don't have to go through one by one of the pages of that article or that interview transcripts. I can just get ATLAS.ti to find the keywords. The higher the frequency, the bigger the size of the keywords that you can see in this word cloud. Okay, so not only that, okay, that's not even the best part. I can also go further to, let me just see. Okay, I think this is very important, so I will just add a label to it by clicking on the plus sign over here. Okay, all right. So there, it has been coded with victim. Here also, I think it is important. So it is victim as well. Okay. All right, so what do I have so far? Let me just go to the navigator again. I closed it just now. I have a lot of factors over here that you can see. I can see anonymities. I can also see victims. Okay. Now I want to move on to the last stage, which is the outputs for the reporting. Create analysis project, go through the project. Of course, there are so many other things, but I cannot share a lot of things with you in this limited time. But the last thing that I want to share with you is to output for the reporting. I have lots of data in my project, for example. I have lots of codes that I have already identified. Now I want to visualize my analysis. I can just straight away go to here, right? I'm going to go to Code Manager first. Okay. From the Code Manager, I'm just going to give it to put it under the heading of factors, for example. Okay. So here I can visualize what I want in the form of networks. Okay. This is my network. Fit to window. Okay. For example, I can also change what I want. Okay. The fit, the appearance of my uh, uh, network, the ones that I am doing. I can also do it any other factors. Not only that, I can also bring in the statements. For example, anonymity just now. I'm just going to bring in quotations. I can do that for every of other things as well. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is on the creating outputs. Okay, outputs based on quotations. These are the ones that I want to bring out, and I'm going to go to report, all items, content, grouping based on codes. Okay, so meaning I want to retrieve all the statements that I have highlighted, group them based on what are the labels or the themes that I have already given. Okay, so it will be like this. Factors, because this is research question 2, right? What are the factors of cyberbullying? This is number 1 is anonymity. Here is the statement. Number 2 is power. Number 3 is psychological treatment, seeking validation, superiority. If there are 2 or more, then it will just come out like this. Victim, these are the statements that I have highlighted from my idea. Okay, all right. Thank you, Dr. Sayu, for that information. I have already come to the end of my presentation, but there are some things that I wish to share with you. To conclude, again, thank you so much on behalf of CeTMA for everyone who come to the session today. I would like to share with you one program that CeTMA is working on. We are actually in search for qualitative and ATLAS.ti trainers. Okay, we have taught end users, meaning researchers in um, uh, postgraduate students, lecturers, researchers on how to analyze their data qualitatively using ATLAS.ti or not using ATLAS.ti. Okay, a continuation from last week's qualitative webinar series. Okay, we are in search for um, future trainers. Okay, so what will you get? We are going to offer TOT, train of trainers, for qualitative and ATLAS.ti future trainers in our 2 days intensive training, which will be conducted in June in next month, 2023, and you will be closely facilitated by both trainers, Dr. Sarima and myself. Upon the completion of the 2 days intensive training, you will get a certificate of completion signed by the director of CeTMA, UUM. Um, uh, we are planning for hard copy documents, okay, hard copy certificates, so that you can keep and use it. Okay, and we are also going to offer 3 months support group from the end of the 2 days TOT training in Telegram, and we are going to meet monthly via virtual meeting because we want to guide what are the problems that you are facing. We are also going to plan for your session, for the session training session. And finally is priority to be invited to our qualitative and ATLAS.ti collaboration projects. We have lots of research. We have research projects. We have publication projects that we wish to highlight, and we are looking for collaborators. And you are members of our TOT will be given the priority to be invited to the collaboration projects. However, with all this in mind, we cannot be offering to everybody, so there will be some strict requirements. We only looking for those who are very serious, passionate, and fulfilling the following criteria. There are two alternatives. You can go through the left option or the right option. The left option is if you are already certified by ATLAS.ti as a student trainer, then you already qualify. What you need to do is to just email to my email address dranimunira@gmail.com your certificate issued by ATLAS.ti that you are a certified ATLAS.ti student trainer. By looking at this, some of you, I see the names who are attending today, you are already certified ATLAS.ti professional trainers. Professional trainers are not future trainers that we are looking for. So if you are already a professional trainer, you can carry on with what you are doing. But if you are a student trainer, we would like to guide you further what you can do so that we can move together and become our research collaborator at CeTMA. Alternatively, the second one is if you are a professional trainer, you still cannot fall into the second category. Is the second category if you are not yet a certified ATLAS student trainer, you can still join our TOT if you are engaged in any research or publication using ATLAS.ti. So if you have any research or any publication, you can just email to my email address. But the second requirement is you must have attended any ATLAS.ti training before. Okay, it's either free training or paid training. So now you have that evidence of certificate. Please email to me and tell me why you should be eligible to join this TOT. We are looking for 10 people only. Okay, maximum is 10 people, very quality in nature. And I do hope to receive some feedback from you. Okay, thank you so much. If you have Zaman asking questions. Okay, I'm gonna stop screen sharing. Yeah, and I'm gonna go to the questions. I see some questions here. Zahayu, I have missed 2 minutes.
It's okay. We
Okay.
can answer. You can answer the question, and then only we can end the session. There are a few questions
Okay,
there. Is it? I think there is one. Can we compare between documents, between docs?
we can. Okay, thank you so much for asking that question. We can compare between documents, especially if we exported it in Excel format, because there are two formats for exporting documents. If it is Word document, the ones that I have shown just now, we cannot. But if we export it into Excel, you can have them side by side. Okay. Okay, is it
Okay.
online? The train of
Is it
trainers will
online?
be conducted 2 series. Thank you so much, Technologies IR Siva, for asking this question. There are 2 series for UUM staff and students. We are offering it face to face, and for other than UUM, it will be online. Okay. Certified to trainer but did not use ATLAS.ti for a while. Okay, if Dr. Abdurrahman, if you are a student trainer, you're already qualified to join the TOT. If utilized in thesis not yet published, please create a section from your thesis so that I will know that it is part of your research. Okay. And next, the charges we will be adding, we will be informing that because there will be some consideration on our part to be made also. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us and asking such questions. Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. And we'll be sharing the QR code after this. Okay. Assalamualaikum
Okay,
warahmatullahi
thank you
wabarakatuh. Thank you
so
so much,
much.
everyone.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ani, and I would like to thank everybody, everyone who attending this session. Hope to see you all again in our next session in the future, inshallah. So thank you again, Dr. Ani, and all the best to everyone. Assalamualaikum. Bye.